Man, I will say you guys have some amazing and excellent questions to ask, because these are the ways that we get answers and better prepare, form solutions. Kevin, how can Social Security be at risk of a deficit and shortcoming if people continuously pay into it? And also, why is Walmart closing 4 different stores, at the very least, I think 4, in Chicago so abruptly? Folks, again, great questions, but even better ones that we need to have answers to is, why are there so many new laws being introduced, like this one here? A new controversial gun law by Illinois Attorney General backing that of this new crazy New Jersey gun law. New laws unveiled of proposed changes overseeing artificial intelligence AI products. Crazy stuff, folks. Yet quite possibly the most important here being the environmental group suing to block the unconstitutional new law allowing fracking in Ohio state parks. I almost can't believe what I'm reading. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. My name is Kevin, Kevin in all caps, youtube.com/@Kevin247. Please be aware, avoid the scammers and the spammers in the comments down below pretending to resemble my avatar and trying to contact you through a text message or WhatsApp. I will never try to contact you in the comments. I will never try to invest money for you. And also, there's no prize to be won for a contest entry that you did not submit. Please do not fall victim to these scammers, to these spammers. There's enough problems going on out there as it is, with just basic higher prices and costs and inflation and higher interest rates chipping away, eating away at your income, your money, and your savings, besides giving it away, throwing it away through these scams and these frauds. If you want to contact me directly, my information is in the description down below, and the best and easiest way would be through the Patreon. Now, it says here that environmental and community groups in Ohio have filed a preliminary injunction to stop the leasing of public lands, including state parks, to the oil and gas industry. Ohio HB 507, which redefines methane gas as green energy and requires state parks to lease their lands for fracking, went into effect on April 7. Originally an agricultural bill with its focus on poultry, the law was quickly expanded to include granting petrochemical, agricultural, and fracking rights to industry. The groups opposed the law on a constitutional basis, in addition to their objection to the obligatory leasing of public lands for fracking, according to a press release from Earth Justice and the Sierra Club, is what they said. Now, Earth Justice is representing Sierra Club, Ohio Valley Allies, and Buckeye Environmental Network in the lawsuit. Attorneys from Earth Justice and Case Western Reserve University Environmental Law Clinic are representing the Ohio Environmental Council along with the organization's own attorneys. Now, it is because of the grassroots efforts of Ohioans who were shocked at the underhanded way that the legislators passed an illegal amendment during the last weeks of the General Assembly in 2022 that we are filing that lawsuit today, according to Cheryl John Cox, board chairperson of the Buckeye Environmental Network. Ohioans love their parks and forest land and will not tolerate lawmakers turning blind eyes to what will happen to the beauty and integrity of the lands that belong to the people. Oil and gas extraction will irrevocably and permanently harm our most treasured places in Ohio. We, the people, will not stand by and allow this to happen. Crazy how this could even be a possible consideration, taking into account the recent events that have occurred in Ohio. affecting the people of Ohio, their safety, their land, and ultimately displacing them. With Squirrel Tribe, my wife, Michelle, bringing loads of valuable information and connecting the dots behind what has happened, who all is involved, and what potentially it may mean in the future. Now, the unrelated 11th hour additions to what was originally a poultry bill made their way through the chambers of the Ohio State Senate without discussion during a lame duck session. Over demands to veto the controversial bill, it was signed into law by Ohio Governor Mike DeWine on January 6, 2023. Shocker. This law is nothing more than an illegitimate giveaway to the oil and gas industry, is what Earth Justice attorney Megan Hunter said in the press release. And we will defend Ohio's public lands from this unconstitutional attack. We will see the state in court. Now, state parks in Ohio are already being staked out by oil and gas companies who have requested leases, which the bill takes away the state's right to deny. The law doesn't even have any requirements for an auction to take place or for the leases to be given to the highest bidder. Can you imagine that? It just requires that the state grant the leases to any interested party that has financial assurances, insurance, and has registered with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. Kind of sketch if you ask me. Meanwhile, Governor DeWine has declared there will be no service disruption on public lands, and the industry is claiming their operations can be done without impacting the surface, yet HB 507 allows oil and gas companies to negotiate an agreement which allows for surface impacts such as frac pads, pipelines, access roads, timber removal, and water usage on our public lands. All said by Jill Hunkler, Executive Director of Ohio Valley Allies, in the press release. And this must not be allowed to occur, is what she says. Is the short-term monetary gain from fracking operations worth the destruction of our public lands and parks that consistently and significantly enrich our state budget? The answer is absolutely not. End quote. Now, under the bill, residents of Ohio will not receive public notice on the specific lands that will be leased and will be denied opportunity for public comment. We, as Ohioans, deserve to have our voices heard when the future of our state parks is on the line. The vitality of our public lands is essential to our own well-being, in a quote said by Nathan Johnson, attorney and public lands director for the Ohio Environmental Council, in the press release, and added, the OEC files this lawsuit today to defend Ohio's best places from a dirty industry power grab, end quote. So the basis of the claim that the lawsuit is unconstitutional is that an Ohio state rule says each bill can only have one subject, which is clearly not the case with HB 507. Additionally, the state's 3 considerations clauses makes it clear that bills need to be brought up for consideration 3 times before they are voted upon. But the General Assembly considered the bill's final version, which contained the mandatory provision on leasing public lands, just once in each house. Clearly a violation. Now, it says here, according to Miranda Lepla, director of Case Western Reserve University Environmental Law Clinic, said, this is a clear example of the Ohio legislature ignoring constitutional requirements that are in place to ensure Ohio citizens can participate in the legislative process, and if allowed to continue unchecked, could affect even more than Ohio's shared state parks and public lands. And the Case Western Environmental Law Clinic looks forward to holding the state accountable to the requirements of our democratic process and protecting Ohio state lands for future generations.